A bill set for a Texas House vote today could open the door for daily fantasy sports companies to operate legally in Texas.
KXAN Steffi Lee shows us how this bill would work.
Fantasy sports are a popular pastime for millions of Texans.
Texans' passion for watching sports is obvious, but engaging on a fantasy sports level brings a different level of engagement, whether it's with family or it's with friends.
It's also been a topic of confusion. Attorney General Ken Paxton's opinion from 2016 said daily fantasy sports outcomes depend partially on chance. Therefore, a person paying to play and a company taking a cut amounts to illegal gambling.
What we maintain is, look, there's obviously chance in the game. Somebody getting hurt, a player getting pulled, a coach making a different decision.
A bill in the legislature, however, would define fantasy sports as a game of knowledge and skill rather than chance. And the money involved to play the games wouldn't be considered bets.
It's an important clarification because whenever the penal code and legislation was adopted, fantasy sports perhaps wasn't contemplated.
But critics believe fantasy sports are gambling under the Texas Constitution, and it would take an amendment, not a bill, to change that.
If somehow or another you're going to go introduce a form of gambling without going through that process, it's very problematic.
According to the Texas Fantasy Sports Alliance, 20 other states have taken steps to adopt this type of legislation. Steffi Lee, KXAN News.
If the bill passes, it will need a third reading and then head to the Texas Senate.
One organization is also trying to make it clear that fantasy sports should fall under the gaming category. The Fantasy Sports Trade Association recently changed its name and rebranded to become the Fantasy Sports and Gaming Association. The group is pushing state legislatures for wider legalization of fantasy sports and sports gambling. The organization says the name change is in response to its membership asking for the group's focus to include sports gaming and embrace the rapid legal and technological changes facing the broader sports industry. FSGA offers game services, analytics, and content for what it calls legal contests of skill, sports, gaming, and non-sports contests.